So we're going to talk about 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, which came out over the holidays. So it kind of got, maybe you might have missed it because it came out when all the awards contenders came out. But now it is an awards winner, so we might as well talk about it.
Yeah.
I think the film was good. I don't think it was better than the other films nominated for Best Golden Globe for Motion Picture Drama. Like, I really don't think it was the best drama this year. I actually think Get Out was, and it was robbed because it was nominated as a comedy/musical, which I think was just like a really chicken move on the studio's part.
You know what? I'm going to agree with you 100% because it was suspenseful is what it was. You weren't sitting there laughing the whole time.
Yeah, it didn't get funny until the end, and that his friend, the character,
with the
was added
TSA
in.
guy.
Yeah.
And like, I really think it's the ultimate ironic commentary that like they were too scared to put this film up as a drama and that people saw it as a comedy. I'm like, that's part of the problem, which is what the movie's about, which is why this is the best movie of the year. Anyway, I really hope Get Out gets nominated for an Oscar. But this is now a super contender for an Oscar because if you win with Golden Globes, like you start to build traction and people just kind of go, oh, what's that? And like voting isn't done yet. So Frances McDormand plays a woman in Ebbing, Missouri, whose daughter, I'm going to spoiler a little bit, but it's in the first 5 minutes. She was raped and murdered, and there hasn't been any movement on the case. So she buys these 3 very large billboards across this route that the cops patrol, and they call out the police being like, why has there been nothing in this case? And it's a small town. Like, it's not like there's a lot going on.
And I want to point out, because I don't like watching rape scenes, that there's nothing... They basically don't show it. So if you're sitting there going, I don't want to watch that movie because of a rape scene, don't worry. It's not there.
Yeah, I mean, but let's not get it wrong. There's also a lot of other dark, painful stuff to watch. So it's a tough movie to watch. It's an angry movie, which I liked. I was like, this is great. I was like, this is Frances McDormand's movie. When she won the Golden Globe for Best Actress, I was like, yeah, no questions asked. I had her in my betting pool. I was like, she's going to win because this movie it's an actor vehicle. It's written, Martin McDonagh wrote it and directed it, and he is a playwright. So it feels very theatrical in the theater, not the movie theater sense. But I think because of that, there are issues, and that's why I was very surprised when it won Best Drama, because I think overall it's uneven, and there are parts that I was just like, I don't like the entire third act. Like, I don't like where her character went, even though this is all about her character. And
she pretty much loses her mind.
No.
Well, in a violent way.
Well, I don't.
She's breaking a lot of laws.
I don't feel she lost her mind. I felt it was very calculated. Like, this is where I've been pushed to, but I am very sane right now. Like, I thought that was a very well. Like, she was under control. My biggest frustration is Sam Rockwell's character, who again also won awards. And I'm like, guys, I just don't feel like I don't think she deserved it. I don't know if he did, especially in the category he was in. But he plays this like super racist, homophobic cop, and they don't really deal with like his behavior in it. Like, he sort of has a redemption arc, but they don't call those facts out. And I'm like, hello, we are missing this entire portion to it.
It was almost as if it was just accepted because of where they were.
Yeah, it was. And like at the very end, and I don't want to spoil it because I do think people are now going to go see this movie. Like, I was very frustrated with I felt like it was a betrayal of where these characters went because I was like, yes, set up. Oh, no, you're okay with that? Like, that's okay at the end?
But maybe that's a commentary just on that part of the country.
Yes, absolutely.
You know?
I do think that, but I think if you're going to go so head on and try and address so many issues, like you can't let those issues, like issues with police getting away with stuff, especially now, like fall by the wayside. Like that was very frustrating to me.
Sure.
So, it's really bad. Like, again, the film is good. I enjoyed the film when I watched it. I just am like, I don't think it was better than the other films that came out because it had all these issues. And because of that sort of, for me, a betrayal as an audience member. And Martin McDonagh is so smart. Like, there's no questions asked, right? It's a ton of zingers. There's a ton of like one-off, like
director.
He's the director and writer. Okay. Yeah, and but he knows he's smart, which is a little frustrating sometimes. And then, like, the story went all over the place because it was like, okay, well, we're gonna follow like Woody Harrelson's character. Woody Harrelson's in it, and he plays like the sheriff in town, and like he has cancer, so we're gonna follow him for a while. But I'm like, okay, but how does this relate back to Frances McDormand? And they like find a way to. But then there's this whole like tangent about like I'm gonna show how like poetic a writer I am by doing this whole 20-minute thing about him. And I'm like, okay, we get it. You're really good at this. We get it. You can stop showing off now. Like, can we be a little more subtle? Can we be a little more? So I had issues with it, but I don't say it's a really good film. I just didn't think it was the strongest film of the year. So I'm going to give it 4.2 out of 5.
Okay.
I think that's a very fair score because I saw this film and I agree. Like the ending, and without giving anything away, the ending is one of those things where you're like, okay.
Like the journey she goes on. Yeah, the journey she goes on. And then like you can kind of understand where the motivation comes from at the end, but you're like, I was like, again, I feel betrayed. I feel like she was stronger than that. You set up such a great character, and then you kind of cop out at the end.
What happens? Tell me.
You have to see it. You have to see it.
Just keep your voices low. Nobody will hear. Just tell me what happens.
I think, but that was like, I think the film did have some unexpected like twists and stuff. So I was like, okay, like it's always nice to see original content like that.
Totally.
Okay.
And you have another movie this week, right?
I do. I have Paddington 2. And I rarely go see a movie without, like a sequel movie without having seen the first one. But I saw a really dark documentary earlier in the day and I was like, I need a palate cleanser. Like, this is one of the bigger films coming out this week. I might as well go see it. And I was so pleasantly surprised. It's about Paddington the bear, who's a book character who I didn't grow up, like, no, it's been around for 50, 60 years. I just, like, my sister had one of them, but we, it was just because it was a cute bear, not because we read the books. So, it was like, I was like, okay, like, I'm vaguely aware of what this is. Whatever, I'll go see the movie. And man, it was like so cute. I was so pleasantly surprised. And I don't really think you have to have seen the first film. I had a lot of questions not having seen the first film, but that's just because I'm a nerdy adult film goer. I was like, well, why is it wearing clothes sometimes and not others? How does it speak English? Does everyone understand it? Like, these are questions a child is not going to ask, so that's fine. I feel like being a British actor, you have an obligation to be in like X number of these types of films a year because the cast of it is just like, it's all the greatest actors in England in this kid's movie, but they're really great in it. It's Sally Hawkins, Hugh Bonneville from Downton Abbey, Julie Walters, Jim Broadbent, Peter Capaldi, Imelda Staunton, like Brendan Gleeson, and then this guy Ben Wishaw does the voice, and you might know him from, he played like the younger version of Q or the young Q in the latest James Bond films, but he has the most soothing voice in like the history of the planet. I was just like, what a pleasant little bear. Like, he really is the reason I was like, I wish, like, I want to listen to you before I go to sleep. Like, you're very soothing and calming. Colin Firth was actually originally supposed to be the voice of Paddington, but I think he like bowed out because he was like, this is not the right fit for this. Like, I'm too adult for this. I was like, yeah, that's actually a really good choice. Like, whoever cast Ben Wishaw, great job. And then my favorite weird part was it has Hugh Grant in it playing the villain, and he's playing this over-the-top, washed-up actor. And I was like, how much of a stretch was this for Hugh Grant? Like, Hugh Grant needed this paycheck, and he attacked it like it was a regular role, and it's funny. It works with him. Like, Hugh Grant is kind of melting now, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
Like, I saw I think part of the reason I wanted to see it is I saw the preview for it, and I saw Hugh Grant not looking his finest. I was like, oh, what is this move? Like, what is Hugh Grant doing these days? So he's fine. He's funny. Like, he's a little crazy. He's a lot crazy in it, and that was kind of funny to see as an adult. Like, there are a lot of like Shakespearean and like theater references because he plays like a theater actor who's washed up. So I was like, all right, there's for adults. I won't go into the plot because why bother? Like, you're either going to see it or you're not.
Yeah.
And you're going to see it because you have kids.
Exactly.
Like, let's be
you're
honest.
You're going to take your kids whether you like the plot or not.
Yeah, you're not going to take them to see 3 Billboards this week. So like, it's this
My
or
mom
bust.
would have.
Yeah, like it's
at
really
4 years old.
Like, yeah. And I think the thing I liked about the most is that it's quiet. Is what I realized, right? Like, a lot of kids' movies get when they're zany and there's like hijinks happening, they get so loud and give me a headache, and they're like so over the top. And even this has like hijinks and funny action scenes because it's a kid's zany movie and they want kids to laugh, but it wasn't like so loud and like annoying. It was just like, and the bear is so polite. Like, I couldn't get over how just polite and British this bear was. I was like, you're so charming. Yeah. And it's like animated in a very cute way. Like, it kind of reminds me of like Baby Groot, where you can't move that. Nobody can see me, but I'm making like tiny baby steps with my hands right now. So anyway, I was so pleasantly surprised. I didn't realize this film has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, which it could dethrone Lady Bird as the best reviewed film of all time. I don't know if it will, and I didn't realize that the first one has like 98%. So people really like these movies, and now having seen it, I kind of get why. Like, I get it. I even went back and I was like, I have questions, and so I watched the first one because it's on Netflix while I was like cleaning my apartment. I just turned it on in the background. I was like, again, so pleasant, just such a pleasant little like background sound for that. So if you're gonna take your kids to see a movie, like, this is a great choice. I think it's safe, like, it's fun. There's moments that you might enjoy as an adult. And some of the questions were answered. I still have a lot of questions about this movie though, but because I'm a sad adult film critic. And anyway, it's cute. It was unexpected. I think it's like the message is really nice. Be polite and kind. And so 4.5 out of 5.
Awesome. Paddington 2. There you go. Go see it.